Hey, what's going on, YouTube? It's Falsa. I'm just sitting in my home kingdom, with this extended break between KVKs. I just picked up the new city skin. Honestly, it reminds me of Castlevania. Had some fun time with that back in the 90s or whenever it was. Seems like a long time ago. Anyways, I promised an update to Flying Cav, so here's that's what we're doing today. Now, before we get started, just a bit of channel news. It's summertime. So what does that mean for me? It means I'm going to do some traveling this summer, and as I'm traveling, it's just going to be very difficult for me to put together any sort of new content, for the next few weeks. Less content than normal, all right? I'm still going to have some access to the game, to the Discord whatsoever, but less so. So if you send me a message, I'll try and get back to you. Just give me a little bit more time than you normally would have. Okay, on to the Flying Cav. So what happened this season? I played Spring Wards all the season, played my Flying Cav. Had some fun, but basically, I was getting dissatisfied with them. Wasn't using them that much, and the issue was, basically the trend line that's been going on for a while, like kind of reached its culmination point, and that is the Flying Cav are just outmatched too often. Right, the game hasn't really supported flying marches at all, to include Flying Cav. Ground Cav is getting much stronger, and so I found myself, just like when I was trying to do that strength and strength thing, honestly just getting my butt kicked whatsoever. My build during the season up until this point had been trying to emphasize the strength of the Flying Cav, and it just became like, even though I'm making these Flying Cav as strong as I can, it's not doing any good. So midway through the season, I had an epiphany. I said, hey, we got to stop trying to match strength on strength, and we got to maximize our maneuverability. Don't even try and go after the ground cav or whatever. Just pick on those crippled legions you find, pick on those ranged mages and archers, and to do that, you got to maximize your maneuverability, maximize your speed. So I came up with two different builds. The first build I called the 76 build, and it is exactly what it sounds like. It's all the movement speed set to 76. So the three commanders here, we got Ferondil with Craig, we got Atheus with Fregar, and then we got Bayhorn with Thea. All these marches are set at 76 movement speed. We'll go through the talent trees here just a minute, but a couple things to point out here. The other big change I made this season was adding the Greymar's Warhammer to my Flying Cav March. Now, it might seem counterintuitive, right? Greymar's Warhammer is an infantry artifact, but let me tell you something. I got this exemplar, and I think it's the best artifact in the game right now. This thing gives you an AoE 6-second stun, complete stun. No one can do anything, can't attack, can't move, can't give orders, can't even counterattack. Super strong. The Greymar's Warhammer for Flying Cav is great for two things. First, sometimes, Flying Cav can't obstruct anyone, and so sometimes you'll get in a situation where you're chasing after a march, but they're just running away from you, and you're trying, like, you're basically escorting along, hitting them a little bit here and there, but doing no real damage. That was always super frustrating. The Greymar's Warhammer can stop them, give you 6 seconds full DPS. That's nice. I also have the Wolf Hollow Horn, so that can give me an additional couple of seconds on top of that. So I got like sort of maximum crowd control for the offense to stop people from running away. That's great. The other thing is it's a great defensive artifact too. Sometimes, people TP bomb me all the time. I'll be flying by and I'll get 5 marched out. Smash that Greymar's Warhammer down and then just head the other way. You can get out of there, no problem. 6 seconds is plenty of time to get away. Awesome artifact. Strongly recommended. Okay, so let's go over the builds here, and we'll start with Ferondil. Now, previously I had him built all the way out to the control tree. Now you'll see here is I've sort of gone a little bit into the control tree, and the reason is I have a very strong Berserk Phaedrake, and I'm not giving that up, and so I still need to maximize the Berserk Phaedrake, maximize its stacks here, and so I want to put as many debuffs on the enemy as possible. Now you see here I've got 1 point into Tremble and 1 point into Ambush. The deal with these two talents is as you level them up more, the impact of the debuff gets higher, but you don't have any greater chance to inflict the debuff. Other than that, I've maxed out the movement speed here. Ferondil by himself is getting 56 movement speed from his talents, and then he also gives you 20% movement speed if you have him as the primary, right? So Ferondil all by himself, that's 76. My second commander is Atheus. I don't love having Atheus as a commander, but he is one of your fast guys here, and here's his build right here. Basically, the idea here is just to maximize his movement speed. He also gets 56 from his talents and another 20 points from his skills. And finally, we've got Bayhorn here. Now, Bayhorn's not giving me as much movement speed. He's giving me 36 from his talent tree. He himself gives 20% from skills, provided it's a flying legion, and obviously these are flying legions. And on top of that, I've got them paired with Thea, who gives another 20%. So that's how I get to my 76% with Bayhorn. Okay, so that's the 76 build. I mentioned I have another build. It's the 96 build, and it is exactly what it sounds like. The idea here is to hit 96% movement speed, right? This is extra speedy, and the commanders here are Ferondel with Bayhorn, Atheus with Thea, and then Craig with Frhagar. Now, Ferondel and Atheus, they have the same build. Remember, they get 76 by themselves. In this case, I've paired them both with the Deputy, who gives another 20% movement speed. That's how they both get up to 96. Craig can't get there. I'll show you Craig's talent tree in a minute here, but he just can't get there, and Frhagar's giving nothing as the Deputy. Craig I have equipped with the Springbird Feather to make him try and keep up as much as I can, but even with the Springbird Feather, he lags behind the other marches. And that's kind of one of the reasons I don't love the 96 build. I'm losing attack power, right? Instead of the Wolfhowl Horn, I have the Springbird Feather, and even then one of my marches is not keeping up. But I find the 76 build, that's just better. All right, this is Craig's talent tree. As you can see here, I've gone for all the movement speed I can get. If you look at the left side of the tree here, there is some movement speed here, but it only applies if you have marksman legions. Your flying cav aren't marksmen, so anything on this tree basically is no good for you. Okay, so that's where I'm at with flying cav right now. What do I think about them? I found the 76 build to be much stronger than my old 56 build. I like it a lot. I love Bregmar's Warhammer. And even having said all that, I think we need at least one more flying cav hero for this to be a viable strategy in the current, in a mature server with all the other heroes released, right? What do I mean by another viable hero? Someone along the lines of Bayhorn or Thea that, basically all their skills are going to work with flying cav. Doesn't necessarily have to be a dedicated flying cav hero, but at least one more flying cav so we can get 4 full marches out. Now, if we get one more hero, yeah, we can put the full 4 marches out, but one of them's got to be Bird, so that's not ideal, but okay. You give me one more hero, and I'm back in flying cav. Otherwise, next season, I think I'm going to switch to either League of Order or Wilderberg, haven't decided yet, and just give ground cav a try. I think they're stronger. I want to give it a full season, test it out, see how I like it, see how I like the playstyle. What do I think long-term going forward? It's my expectation. I have no inside information, but it's my guess that when we get to G5 heroes, we'll see like what we saw in G2, where one of the two, each of the pairs, is a flying hero, right? So we'll get a flying archer, a flying cav, probably not flying infantry unless we finally get that new faction, here's hoping, and then finally a flying mage. If we do get those 3 new flying heroes, we could put out 5 full flying marches. Granted, we'd have a few mages in there, so they wouldn't be ideal, but you do that, I'm going to be back in Spring Wardens. Until we at least get a little bit more support, minimum one decent hero, I think I'm going to give the ground cav a try. All right, that's all I got for you today. Like I said, I'll be on the road for the next little bit, so if you send me a message, just give me some time. I will get back to you, but it might take a little longer than usual. And until next time, stay classy, Belleron. Hey, that's it. Now I feature a number of War Pet themed series on this channel, and I'm always looking for more War Pets to feature. Now this could be a pet you're struggling with, and you'd like in-depth advice on how to build it out, or it could be a super strong pet, and you'd like to see it featured in the Doom Pet series. I try to help anyone who needs it with any War Pet related issues. So if you do send something in, please let me know whether you're interested in being featured in one of my videos, or if you're just looking for some quick advice. I'm happy to help either way. I also try to address more general, pet-related questions the community might have. If you have any of those, please let me know in the comments below. I want to thank everyone for stopping by and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this content or found it helpful, please hit that like and subscribe button. It helps me out a lot. And until next time, stay classy, Belleron.